Hello, let's start with the second part of our lesson. The second part is talking about the prokaryotes and eukaryotes, okay? We need to find out what we mean by prokaryotes and what we mean by eukaryotes. All cells are surrounded by thin flexible barriers called the cell membrane, or it has another name called plasma membrane. So, the most important structure in the cell called cell membrane. Cells are classified into either prokaryotes or eukaryotes, depending on the presence of the nucleus. So, in the beginning, you have to differentiate between the prokaryotes and eukaryotic cells. The prokaryotic cells and the eukaryotic cells are classified according to the presence of cells. So, we need the presence of a nucleus. So, we need to memorize which of these two types of cells have a nucleus or true nucleus and which of them don't have a nucleus. Eukaryotes are cells that enclose their DNA in a nuclei. So, the eukaryotic cells have a true nucleus that contains the DNA, while the prokaryotic cells are cells that do not enclose the DNA in nuclei. Let's compare between these three types of cells. This is the bacteria, animal cells, and plant cells. As you can see here, we have a nucleus here and here. So, in the animal and plant cells, we have a eukaryotic cells. Okay, we have a nucleus so we classify these two types of cells as a eukaryotic cells. While here the DNA is found in the cytoplasm and we classify the cells as prokaryotic cells. Let's start with the first one. The prokaryotic cells are generally smaller and simpler than the eukaryotic cells. Like an example for this prokaryotes is the bacterial cells. While the eukaryotes are generally larger, more complex than prokaryotic cells, we have many examples on eukaryotic cells like plants, animal, fungi, and organisms commonly called protists. Okay, so eukaryotic cells have a true nucleus that contains the DNA, and the eukaryotic cells are more complex, larger than the prokaryotic cells. While the prokaryotic cells are small, don't have the nucleus, the DNA is found in the cytoplasm, and we have a bacteria as an example for the prokaryotic cells. This is a small differences and similarities between the prokaryotic cells and eukaryotes, so make sure to compare between the prokaryotes and eukaryotes clearly. So, for the prokaryotes, there is no nucleus, while eukaryotic there is a nucleus. There is no membrane-bounded organelles in the prokaryotes, while in eukaryotes we have a membrane-bounded organelle. Okay? We have ribosomes in the prokaryotic some, while eukaryotes have ribosomes mainly. They are many small here for the prokaryotes, while the eukaryotes they are between 2 to 1,000 micrometer. And here in the prokaryotes we have cytoplasm, DNA, and cell membrane, while here in the eukaryotes we have multiple organelles, and at the same time we have cytoplasm, DNA, and cell membrane. This is a small comparison between the eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. Make sure to memorize all of these features. And thank you. Have a nice day.